talk, and that's with George Ellis. So George, is Caitlin joining you as well? Okay, good. So George and Caitlin are going to be speaking to us about the future of business is explainable. I'm really interested in seeing this because I asked each speaker to just give me a little bit of what's in their talk, and George just said it's explainable. Okay, so he's going to do some explaining now. So yeah, thanks very much, George and Caitlin, for joining us, and over to you guys.
I'm almost depressed that I don't know most of you. Let's see. Oh, there's one at the back. He looks very conspicuous, though. Okay, so I guess my background is core banking to some degree. So I'll use some of the examples from the banking world to get into a little bit of this thing called artificial intelligence. Now super hyped. I guess what is quite interesting is I think I switched on my Windows 11 home PC probably about a week ago, and suddenly there was ChatGPT just everywhere, all over it, just installed. I didn't ask for it. So certainly is going to be interesting to watch how this develops. Spent more or less 5 years with Standard Bank, consulting to most of them in my own consulting business. Then worked for ABSA for 10 years for my sins, and helped the CEO sell the bank, which is probably not something I should say. And then Deloitte asked me to come and set up their banking and financial services practice in strategy and ops, which I did for 10 years. Totally enjoyed that. We built a few digital banks, which is probably the opposite of what we've just heard, which is like, you know, digital transformation officer versus build me a digital bank from scratch. So there's some of them in the market where I've been the chief business architect for most of them. And then one very peculiar project where a global CEO phoned us and said, come and build us a bank. There's no limit on the amount of money you can use. And we want to onboard 1 billion customers in a week. Okay, that was quite nice, as a consultant anyway. But you learn very quickly that those things don't work that way normally. But you can seriously innovate within those projects. So I'm going to be sharing the next half an hour with Caitlin, who's doing her master's degree in, she'll explain. And that's the main topic of the session as well. But I have sort of a cracked rib at the moment and the flu. So I think if I cough and I sort of fold over, please forgive me. And or if I laugh, that's probably the second thing that doesn't make a cracked rib work really well. But that probably means you now have a nice challenge to make me laugh. So let's see how that goes. Yeah, so I think artificial intelligence, probably 2 to 3 points I want to quickly make before I give over to Caitlin. It is basically democratizing intelligence, in my view. So intelligence becomes available to everyone, every organization, every individual, and so forth. And the second thing that's happening is that it's becoming ubiquitous. So it's everywhere. So if you're a CEO or someone in an organization, I think the world that we've lived in previously has fundamentally changed. The best way I've heard AI described is basically the invention, more or less the same as the calculator was for maths. So this is like the calculator for language. So you can really work with it quite nicely. Simple example, my wife, career Accenture consultant forever and ever. You don't want to be married to Accenture, I promise you that. Never comes home, never sleeps. and so forth. But the other day she asked me, what's this ChatGPT thing? What's this about? I said, well, it's something that might help you in your business. She said, how does it work? I said, you've been a consultant forever. You know how to talk to smart people, in this case, ChatGPT, ask them some questions and get some really smart answers. She said, oh, that's interesting. And then the week thereafter, she got her performance appraisal back, and she got just the most amazing score ever. Got a massive bonus last week. And I said, what did you do? She said, I used ChatGPT to write my performance appraisal. So it is ubiquitous. It is everywhere. And it's available to people that don't know how to use it. Isn't that just amazing? We'll go on holiday soon. So I asked not to have me laugh, but I think that's an example of how simple it's going to become. I am going to try and unhype it for you because as a Deloitte consultant, career consultant, also making a turn at PwC and a few other places, my job was to sell hype to people and convince them to buy things at very expensive prices. I've since learned that that's probably not the best way to deal with real transformation, as you've heard in the previous presentation. So I think what I want to do is just quickly go to our intro slide, which will give you a bit of a sense. Maybe we can actually just go to the next slide. There you go. Okay, so I think the last sort of 20 years, 30 years, have largely been about centralization, standardization, and automation, and to some degree, digitization. There's been quite a significant journey in banking, where we started with voucher and card processing and banking. Then everyone got onto the call center world. My goodness, who invented that? Who wants to talk to a call center agent? Okay. Then it got into online banking, which was quite a revolution. Quick example, I started at AFSA in 2001, and one of the people working there got the first PC in AFSA and told the following story. They went and motivated to Group Exco that they needed a PC. Group Exco said, no, you don't need one. All this green stuff looks just about right. Anyway, so he continued motivating, and an Exco meeting approved the first PC in AFSA. Can you believe that? And then they told him, don't tell anyone, please. We don't think this is going to work. Okay, so that didn't hold too long. And I think we're more or less at that point with intelligence, where everyone knows it's a thing, but don't really know where it's going to go. So you're going to see someone like Caitlin standing next to me, as young an engineer as you can get, already thinking deeply about what does artificial intelligence look like in the future, but not the hype that you're hearing. How do you implement it? What do you do with it? How do you create it? What are the things that you should be thinking about? And that's really what our business is about, in some way, is helping you through that process and setting up your organization for that future wave that comes. I'll close out on some things that you might want to think about when the two of us leave here. Me slowly up the stairs, though. So I think that's sort of why we want to then say the next step was virtualization, and then digitalization and digitalization. Big difference, but by now all of you are quite educated in what that means. Then I guess AI, machine learning, robotics, all of that good stuff. I think the previous story around Motorola, again, a lot of my previous employers as well as clients have fallen into that trap where you are going to go really mad on the tech as opposed to reaching that one business goal that you were looking for. So we don't think it's about AI. The future is not about AI necessarily. It's about being smart. And there are lots of smart things that you can then integrate into your business. And that's where I'm going to leave. I'm going to give it over to Caitlin. Caitlin will take you through this whole thing about explainable AI and why that's important. All these black boxes that we see of AI can be quite interesting, but explainable AI is what we're about.
Cool. Thanks, George. My name is Caitlin Tallack, and I was, and in many ways still am, the quintessential curious child. I, much to my parents' frustration, was incessantly asking why. Whether it was understanding the rationale behind my parents' decisions or trying to unpack the causes that drove the changes in the world around me, I was driven by this unquenchable curiosity to really understand things. This curiosity and an engineering degree led me to the captivating world of artificial intelligence. See, though AI has this remarkable capacity to perform really impressive tasks, its inability to explain its reasoning has always been really frustrating to me. It can predict weather patterns or make stock market recommendations, but can't seem to answer even my most juvenile question: why? Why do you think it's so likely to rain? Why should I sell my Netflix holdings? Our most powerful algorithms like neural networks and deep learning models have become so complicated that they cannot answer even the simplest questions. This tension felt like a challenge that needed to be addressed. And so I decided to focus my undergraduate thesis in a field of research known as explainable artificial intelligence. My goal, and the goal of the field more broadly, was to find a way to marry the computational prowess of artificial intelligence with an intuitive interface that could answer questions like why. This goal and its importance to the future of business are what we're going to be discussing today. In an era where businesses are increasingly reliant on data-driven insights, understanding the why equips decision makers to use AI not as a black box oracle, but as a transparent, trustworthy partner in strategy and execution. This is crucial because we are at a juncture where businesses are under immense pressure to incorporate AI into their ecosystems. But incorporating AI without understanding its decision-making process can have far-reaching consequences, including ethical lapses, unaccounted operational errors, or missed or misguided strategic opportunities. The same curiosity that had me frustrating and questioning adults as a child now fuels my professional drive. It motivates me to ensure that as we stand on the cusp of an AI-driven future, businesses are equipped to make the most of AI in a responsible, effective, and smart manner by asking the right questions. And at the heart of all of that is a simple yet powerful question that I've been asking all of my life. One that perhaps you're sitting there and asking now: why? In order to understand the work that I do to help businesses make smart, responsible use of AI, it is important to understand another transformative shift that is occurring in the world right now: the democratization of intelligence. The advent of powerful algorithms, particularly those capable of understanding natural language, think ChatGPT, has revolutionized access to computational intelligence. To fully grasp the implication of a democratized intelligence landscape, one must first acknowledge that we're standing on the precipice of a technological revolution. Gone are the days when the deployment of machine learning algorithms and data analytics were restricted to a select group of specialists. Advanced AI algorithms like ChatGPT can communicate in natural language, and this obliterates the technical barriers that previously restricted access to these powerful technologies. The democratization of intelligence is not merely an academic interest or a tech novelty. It's a seismic shift that will affect the very core of how businesses operate and compete. When intelligence is democratized, it becomes a general purpose tool that can be wielded by anyone in your organization or your competitor's organization. From the CEO to the junior analyst, the newfound ubiquity of smart tools allows for an agility and unity in decision-making that was previously unprecedented. The ripple effects of such democratization are manifold. Risks can be better managed, opportunities can be seized more effectively, and the lead time from ideation to execution is drastically reduced. But most importantly, by democratizing access to intelligence, you're not just speeding up your processes, you're also enhancing them. That's because AI algorithms offer real-time, data-backed insights, which ensures that every decision can be made in a timely and well-informed manner. However, this broader access also comes with its set of challenges, chiefly ethical implications and the potential for misuse. The accessibility of such a powerful tool is a double-edged sword, requiring businesses to also invest in responsible AI use frameworks and governance. This is yet another reason why explainability isn't just a nice to have, but a crucial feature. When everyone has access to these kinds of tools, but also understands the why behind decision making, it creates a culture of responsibility and accountability that is essential to a successful AI strategy. As we move towards a future where intelligence is ubiquitous, the businesses that will emerge as leaders are those that not only adapt to the democratization of intelligence, but do so responsibly. Businesses are more likely to succeed if they embrace smart tools that not only answer the what, but also the why, ensuring that every member of their organization is empowered to make data-driven decisions without sacrificing a collaborative approach to running businesses. In a world where intelligence is democratized, another transformational trend follows closely: the ubiquity of intelligence. It's not just that AI and data-driven insights are more accessible. They are also increasingly integrated into every aspect of business operations. The democratization of intelligence is just the first step. The next is its infusion into the very fabric of organizational ecosystems. This may sound like a futuristic vision, AI in the very fabric of organizational ecosystems, but it's a reality that savvy businesses are capitalizing on today. And the world's software giants have already begun integrating this sort of functionality into their products. The integration of AI into a myriad of platforms and applications means that intelligence becomes an omnipresent layer in business strategy and operations. It's not confined to a single department or a specific task. Whether it's supply chain optimization, HR management, or customer relations, AI is not just a tool, but increasingly a constant companion, offering real-time insights and actionable advice. Consider the case of predictive maintenance in manufacturing. Gone are the days when machine breakdowns were just an accepted cost of doing business. Today, intelligent sensors and algorithms can predict when a component is likely to fail, allowing for proactive replacement and repair. This isn't just a technological upgrade. It's a foundational change in how businesses operate, turning what was once an unpredictable cost of doing business into a manageable and even optimizable expense. But the ubiquity of intelligence doesn't stop at operational efficiencies. It extends to shaping business models and even creating new markets. Take the rapid evolution of personalized marketing as an example. It's no longer just about using algorithms to decide which ad to show to which customer. It's about AI understanding individual consumer behaviors and preferences so intricately that new products and services can be designed to meet demands that consumers themselves may not even be consciously aware of yet. This is smart business design in action, driven by data and amplified by AI. As intelligence permeates every layer of business, the need for explainability becomes even more pronounced. A company using AI in a single department can afford some level of opaqueness. But when AI is everywhere, understanding its decision-making process is essential for harmonious and effective operations. The ubiquity of intelligence demands its transparency. When an AI model's reasoning is understandable, employees can collaborate with it more effectively. Trust in the technology grows, and overall risk decreases. As intelligence becomes more pervasive, a new set of questions and challenges arises. Merely adopting the latest AI technology is no longer sufficient. Companies must integrate it in a way that adds real value and utility to their operations. This leads us to a pressing question. What makes intelligence truly smart? When you hear about smart intelligence, it's not just about algorithms that can perform complex tasks. Smart intelligence is rooted in an approach that enhances business value. We've moved past the time when simply having an AI solution provided a competitive edge. As we delve deeper into the 21st century, we find ourselves standing at the intersection of data and decision-making, where artificial intelligence has the potential to be either a revolutionary asset or a disastrous liability. What is the key differentiator? The smart implementation of that intelligence. To navigate this new landscape, businesses must focus on three critical dimensions of smart intelligence. It must be collaborative, integrated, and embedded. First, intelligence is smart when it is collaborative rather than prescriptive. The best positioned businesses will be those that are AI empowered, not AI powered. The difference is whether AI is the sole decision maker due to a lack of transparency and understanding, or an esteemed collaborator, one which remains practically accountable and conversational about decision making. Imagine a system where an AI-driven analytics tool collaboratively assists senior management in decision making. The tool suggests strategic shifts backed up with data, but also offers explanations for its recommendations. This is not a monologue by a machine, but a dialogue between humans and AI, each augmenting the other's capabilities. Imagine another example. A smart AI system in a hospital setting. While the system can make recommendations for patient care based on historical data, lab results, and treatment outcomes, it also factors in inputs from doctors and nurses. The medical staff can override or adjust the AI suggestions, and these adjustments are learned by the system for future reference. Here, AI is not dictating a course of action. It's contributing to a richer, more nuanced decision-making process. And importantly, human and AI systems are collaborating and both becoming better for it. That's smart intelligence. Second, intelligence is smart when it is integrated rather than siloed. Businesses often make the mistake of deploying patchwork solutions. AI for marketing here, machine learning for supply chain optimization there, and perhaps some natural language processing to speak to customers. While each of these solutions might add value in their individual capacities, and often do, they don't communicate with each other. This resembles the silos we often see causing misalignment even in traditional businesses. The result is a fractured ecosystem that misses the big picture. Smart intelligence requires the integration of AI across different departments and functions. In a retail environment, an integrated AI ecosystem can analyze consumer purchasing behaviors, optimize inventory, and provide real-time insights to sales representatives on the floor. Such a system doesn't solve isolated problems, but works holistically to optimize the entire business. Third, intelligence is smart when it is embedded rather than added. The third dimension where intelligence becomes truly smart is in the seamless embedding into business processes. It's not enough for AI solutions to be add-ons that employees can choose to engage with. They must become foundational elements in how a business operates. Consider an energy company that has embedded AI into its operational core. Smart sensors across its structure constantly gather data on equipment performance, energy usage, and environmental factors. This data feeds into a machine learning model, which not only predicts maintenance needs, but also suggests optimization strategies for energy production, all while explaining its conclusions for human oversight. The result is a system where AI is not an afterthought, but an intrinsic part of how businesses run, improve, and even innovate. I anticipate a not so distant future where the success of businesses is predicated on how well human and AI systems can collaborate, on the effective integration of intelligence across the business landscape, and on a fully embedded artificial intelligence capability. Collaborative intelligence is the future of successful AI implementation. Explainability is the foundation of that collaborative intelligence. In the realm of business, there's no room for mysticism. We cannot afford to have decisions made by incomprehensible algorithms, no matter how intelligent they are. Just as a CEO must articulate their decisions to the board, AI must be capable of explaining its decisions to human operators. This isn't just a matter of principle, it's a matter of good business practice. When machine models can explain their reasoning, you don't just get a predictive score. You get a rationale that can be scrutinized, understood, and built upon. You get a partner in the decision-making process, one that can sift through more data than a human ever could, but still participates in a dialogue about what it all means and how best to act. The future of business is explainable, and the future of intelligence is smart. As AI technologies become more powerful, the need for them to be explainable becomes more acute. And as businesses become more reliant on AI, the need for that AI to be genuinely smart, collaborative, integrated, and embedded becomes paramount. Businesses that adapt to this new paradigm will not only be more efficient, but they'll also be more adaptable, more innovative, and more in tune with the ethical implications of their operations. To my fellow curious minds in the room, the ones who have built careers by asking the right questions, remember that as we stand on the cusp of an AI-driven future, your business doesn't just need intelligence. It needs smart intelligence. Intelligence that can answer all of your questions, especially intelligence that doesn't just support your business, but becomes an integral part of it. Intelligence that is, above all, explainable. The future is a world where AI is no longer the mysterious oracle that merely predicts outcomes, but a transparent partner that informs strategic decisions. As a business leader, your role is to navigate this new world armed with the right questions. And I'm urging you to insist on artificial intelligence that can give you the right answers, along with the all-important why. Back to you, George.
Okay, I see there's a wild 10 at the back, so I'll keep it to about 5. So I think, where are we on this journey? I did draw the analogy of a calculator sort of advancing the art of math at some point. And maybe that is wrong. I think where we're at the moment is probably closer to an abacus in artificial intelligence. We're really just sort of moving things around, and we think that's going to be cool. We're nowhere close to asking the AI in our business, what do you think the answer is? And it says, I think it's 2, because I've learned that maybe. The explainability is going to become quite important. So calculators give you the answer, and we'll move there at some point. There are 2 big additional things coming down the line. The one is obviously artificial generalized intelligence, which is a lot or a long way beyond where we're at today, which is when AI starts behaving like humans. Very, very, very different. Now, most commentators say that's about 5 to 8 years away. I don't think so. I think we're on a path of exponential development at the moment. So you'll probably have us coming back next year talking about artificial general intelligence and how it not to be hyped and how it should be rolled out in your business and how you should be preparing for that. So that could be interesting. The other one is quantum computing. I guess the moment quantum computing becomes available in the cloud, so most of you might have read a lot about this, but again, let me draw the analogy, is if computers solve things in a binary way, like let's give it a problem, it sits on it for 3 days working on its supercomputing, the answer. Quantum computing solves the answer all at once. So think about the future that we're about to enter, where the biggest problems we've got can be solved all at once for your business. So are we at the Motorola sort of point for all of our businesses? And should we now start thinking about AI today? So that's sort of where we're at. Any questions or any comments on the floor?
Question here, I think. Yeah, go ahead. Mm-hmm. 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 Okay, they're not quite the same. So some of our most powerful algorithms at the moment are things like neural networks or deep learning models. And how these things work is that we put a bunch of inputs into a black box, and then it does something computationally, and it gives us answers that align quite well to our reality. They're good answers, but we don't know quite what's happening in the middle. We don't know how AI is coming to those answers. And in a world where that is the foundation of general intelligence, we have this general intelligence that is very good at getting to the right answer, but there's no transparency at how it's making those decisions. One of the reasons that's dangerous, for example, is that our data reflects our society and many of the problems in our society. So things like racist, sexist data that could be an input to how models are making decisions may still be an input to how those results are being achieved at, even with artificial general intelligence. And there will be no accountability for that if we're still looking at a black box model that doesn't explain its reasoning. And it's obviously problematic in those contexts where we as a society want to be able to hold algorithms accountable for making ethical and transparent decisions. Maybe we can chat about it a bit more afterwards, but I hope that starts to answer some of the differences between the two. So explainable artificial intelligence is a methodology, and almost general intelligence is a goal. And hopefully we get to general intelligence through explainable artificial intelligence rather than the black box model. Yeah, tied inside the box, firmly within our grasp.
I only have 3 wishes. One more question, lady.
Thank you very much. At the back of the conversation now on the black box model, I wanted to know more about the regulatory environment. What discussions are you having at the moment from an ethics perspective at the global level? What is our contribution as South Africans? Thank you.
And if you want to take that, or should I give it a shot?
You can start and I'll jump in if
Okay.
you miss anything.
I guess the regulators are not necessarily got their heads around this, as you probably know. They certainly are attending every conference they can. They are starting to follow some of the European thinking around this. The Americans, it looks like they're still wondering what the universe looks like, in my view, with some engagement and some appetite to regulate. I think this is really early days, so I don't see this as a framework that will be put in place very soon. Hence, us as a business having decided that we are quite uncomfortable to even consult on something that isn't explainable. And, you know, but rather build on the foundations of what is possible, explainable, but also readying organizations to be ready for when this comes. That is the big challenge. That's the Motorola event, I think, that's coming. And the sooner you realize that it's coming, the sooner you can prepare for it. So I think like we have digital transformation offices in large organizations, I think that will transform to something different. I don't know if you wanted to call them, what would it be? Smart transformational offices, something like that. Because that's really where it's going to go, I think. And if you're not ready for it, I'm afraid, and I'm in that business. So, but I'm also very optimistic, because a lot of us needs to set the principles now in our businesses for what it needs to be. And we will shape it in each one of our businesses. Regulation will come over time and mature as it normally does, but it takes 5, 10, 15 years for the regulators to catch up, is my experience. Okay, thank you very much, everyone. If you don't feel that Motorola sort of angst in your seat, I guess give us a shout and we'll help you with that. Good, thank you.
Thanks so much, George. I won't give you a hug because of your ribs, but thanks a lot. Have you got the clicker?